Good morning, friends. Um, I had a few inquiries actually. Just in my day-to-day living, I have a young lady, a married young lady, who has a 2-month-old baby, and she's very concerned about the brain development. And she was talking to me about fish oil and things along that line. Also have a friend who has a 3-year-old, and she's concerned about the same subject, brain development and behavior, things like that. And then I even have another friend who has a young boy. He's about 9 or 10, and he struggles with some of the same issues: behavior, attention, and she was looking into fish oil as well, which shows me that they're doing their research, because fish oil is a good product and can help brain development, especially in kids at the very, very beginning of formative brain development. So I had this presentation. It's called Better Brains, Better Kids, Nutrition and Brain Function in Children. Just a handful of slides here, and we'll just walk through it if we could. So healthy brain development. The brain is the most demanding organ in the body. It uses over half of the sugar energy, which is called glucose, in the body. And now that's natural sugar, not man-made synthetic sugar. And too little glucose, not enough neurotransmitters are produced, and communication within the brain breaks down. That's if you have too little of the glucose, naturally occurring sugar. Brain is 50% fat. DHA is the most abundant omega-3 fatty acid in cell membranes in the brain. The brain cannot store energy. It needs a steady stream of glucose and nutrients. Hormones such as insulin and ghrelin affect memory and learning. These are directly affected by diet and exercise. Healthy brain development. Over 1 million neural connections are created in your child's brain in the first few years of life. That would be birth to the age of 3. Later, closer to the teen years, the brain begins pruning, eliminating unneeded connections to increase efficiency. We add neural connection throughout our lifetime. In early childhood, strong emotional bonds increase brain development and cognitive thinking skills. In other words, just good old-fashioned love. Love builds brain cells, and it does. Neurotransmitters, chemical messengers released by neurons to neuron to stimulate brain, gland, or muscle cell, travel through the nervous system. Several classes. There's the amino acids such as glutamate, murines, which is the dopamine, serotonin, norepinephrine, endorphins, opioids, and then there's the purines such as adenosine and triphosphate, which is known as ATP. It's easier to say ATP than to pronounce those words. Up to 86% of Americans may have suboptimal levels of neurotransmitters. Neurotransmitters control your ability to focus, concentrate, and remember. They also regulate mood, cravings, addictions, sleep, and more. Other factors in brain function and development: lack of parental connection, just that good old love and affection. There's toxic stress today that hinders brain development, especially in higher order skills. Prenatal environment, socioeconomic environment. We all know what that is. Of course, diet plays a role. So the ability of your immune function, how strong your immunity is. Physical environment factors in as well. Media consumption, we're all on our cell phones, and it starts at a pretty young age now, doesn't it? Physical activity or lack of physical activity. And of course, stress is stress is stress. The body really doesn't know the difference between positive stress or negative stress. it's all stress to the body. So even if you hit the lottery for $100 and you're all happy, that's positive stress, but it's still stress. Okay, any child is affected by the environment, toxic load, chemicals, natural contaminants, and stress. And we all know this to be true. And in our environment, the toxic load and the chemicals, sometimes we do it to ourselves. And we'll talk a little bit about that here as the presentation develops. Nutrition, healthy cells make healthy cells. Sick cells reproduce sick cells. So what cycle would be more beneficial? Healthy weight, overweight children have lower test scores, proven fact. Genetics, 20% of our total health picture. Some people like to talk, they think genetics is 50% or 60 or 70. Genetics does play 20% in any health situation where you would be predisposed if you have that genetic, but it's only 20%. And some like to think it's higher or blame everything on genetics. Only 20%. Let's use the 80-20 rule. If you do 80% of good things, you might be able to overcome the 20% of the genetics that is makes people predestined to certain conditions. Special needs. Children have higher needs because of increased sensitivity to the environment, nutrition, and genetics. So not only they need their normal nutrition, but because of growth as well, sometimes children need additional nutrition. And it's hard to find in the standard American diet. Spell it SAD. And our standard American diet in the United States, could be sad when you really think about what's available and how we eat so quickly sometimes. So it is, it's prudent to be careful as to what we consume. And we should be looking to consume the most healthy foods that are available within the budget that look good and smell good right down the line, because that's all part of eating well and good eating as well. So does this sound like your child? Well, possibly bedwetting, persistent colds and flu, always sick, inattention, not having the ability to focus, argumentative or spoiled, always having to have their way, hyperactive, driven. Maybe they have some eliminations with the diarrhea or constipation, maybe not sleeping well, frequent nightmares, things along that line. Low self-esteem, always tired, fatigued, trouble learning, can't focus at school and even at home. Maybe they have frequent rashes, lethargic, where they're moving very, very slowly. Maybe they're a picky eater, have food cravings, get cravings for stuff that we know just isn't really that good for us. They have anxiety. And maybe they even take unsafe risks. So brain and behavior. Brain health impacts behavior. Increased aggression, inability or inconsistency to listen or obey, forgetfulness, fear or anxiety, overly concerned about details or the order in which things happen, unusual fear of things that really, are unusual. Not understanding nor caring about consequences. Children and medication. At least 1 million children under 5 are on psychotropic drugs. Some estimate as high as 1%. So 1% of the children are on some kind of psychotropic, and even 1% is way too many. And that equates to 1 million children. At 0 to 1, the number could be as high as 274,800. Up to 20% of school-age children are on some kind of medication. In teens, often have a reverse effect. The medication increases anger, aggression, violence, suicide, alienation. Check FDA black box warnings. 8,389,000 kids on psychiatric drugs. And here's a little website you could go to. If you could take a picture of that with your phone real quick. Okay, I'll leave it there for 1 second. But isn't that crazy? 8 million kids on psychiatric psychiatric drugs. And it continues through the whole life cycle. We get them on as young kids, and there's a good possibility they'll never break that chain of drugs. The environment plays a role. Home life. New research shows that negative environments can actually affect brain shape. Positive homes shape brains as well. So let's be positive. Chemical load. We are bombarded in today's modern day world with chemical. And there's really very few restrictions. Children in more polluted environments more likely to display autistic symptoms, and that's a big problem, the autism, and or aggressive behavior. Sometimes it's just chemical load. Let's get the chemicals out of the house, and we will touch on that as the presentation develops. Air, cognitive function skills down 30% just by the air we breathe. My mother always said it's the food we eat, it's the water we drink, and it's the air we breathe, and I like to say, and the additional stress that we put ourselves under that causes negative issues. Water, nutrient distribution, brain function, so pure water is important. And other stimuli such as media. We're always, how much time are we spending on the computer and the cell phones and the other devices? They decline in alpha wave, brain goes to sleep. So action for healthykids.org, good website. Here's what they tell us. An analysis of over 200 studies on exercise shows an increase in cognitive function. Kids learn facts and skills better when they get exercise. Overweight children do not perform as well as healthy weight children in academics, proven fact. Poor nutrition, inactivity, and weight problems caused more school absences than any other physical, psychological, or social problem. Poor nutrition and inactivity and weight problems. Many school and learning problems have simple, natural solutions. Does it matter? In 1997, Central Alternative High School in Appleton, Wisconsin replaced standard school lunches with healthy, fresh foods and water as the beverage. The results: grades are up. Truancy no longer a problem. Arguments are rare. Teachers teach instead of disciplining students. 5 years later, the results stayed the same. So what we eat is important. Schools that focus on nutrition, non-toxic environments, and exercise have similar results. So it's no wonder. I mean, it makes a lot of sense to me. Does that make sense to you? Are you feeding your child's brain? Breakfast is the key to school performance. Lower protein can decrease test scores by 30%. Only 2% of children eat USDA recommendations of 5 servings of fruit and veggies. The Sunny D doesn't count. 33% of teens consume 3 sodas daily. It's a lot of sugar. Maybe caffeine too. Artificial colors, sweeteners, and preservatives can affect behavior and cognitive performance in sensitive children. So the importance of breakfast. Our teachers have seen students more alert and engaged in their classroom and less worried about hunger. Academics have improved and behavior problems have gone down, and we feel that breakfast in the classroom is the daily start to that success. And there is, okay, the annual report from 2016. Okay. Synthetic versus real food. Meat fluffy and scruffy. Fluffy's on the left. Fluffy was fed a diet of real eggs. Scruffy was fed a diet of egg beaters. For your kids, fruit drinks are flavored sugar water. Example, that Sunny D that we just mentioned. Fruit roll-ups are not fruit. Lunchables are not real cheese. It doesn't rot. We always say, a good idea is to eat foods that will rot, but just make sure you eat them before they rot. And if they never rot, then they're probably really not food. They're very synthetic, and your body cannot absorb it. Really doesn't know what to do with synthetic materials. So Happy Meals don't rot either because they're pretty synthetic and they will last for a long, long, long time. A lot of chemicals, and they're just not real food. So anyhow, but you really have 2 brains, and let's touch on this a little bit. This is an interesting concept here. Enteric nervous system, 100 million neurons. 40 neurotransmitters are made in your small intestines. So there's a big correlation between your small intestines and your brain. Your gut makes its own decisions. When you're upset, you get an upset stomach. How many times when you do have a stress or something bad happens, or you have an argument or whatever, you get an upset stomach? Well, there's a direct correlation. 95% of your body's serotonin is in your gut. Your gut communicates with your brain. It's almost like your second brain. Your gut brain can say no to your big brain. Okay, so your gut communicates with your brain on a regular basis and ongoing. Simple steps. Switch to whole foods. These can be pre-cooked by you for convenience and to be eaten later. Reduce, eliminate artificial foods, sweeteners, and additives. To me, this is just common sense, but we have to do it. Pack lunch, not the school lunch. You have control if you pack that lunch for your children. Water instead of juice boxes. Common sense. And get the kids outside, get them moving, get them active. Encourage sports. Prepare those healthy snacks and have them available, and stay away from the sugary, salty, high calorie, no nutritional content snacks. Get them healthy snacks. And clean, non-toxic environment. That can be, physical as well as emotional. Reduce the media. Limit the time they spend on the devices. Increase family and social connections. This is being lost in today's world because of the media, and people, gosh, we see people in the same room, and instead of saying hello, they have to text the person instead of walking over and shaking their hand and saying good morning or good afternoon. Unbelievable. How does environment affect the brain? Well, writing before a test, and this was one where and I would never ever do this. I'm not sure where this exactly came from, but you can see when the air was bad, their writing was terrible, and then after the test, it got a little bit better. So let's talk about a cleaner environment. Get clean. Shaklee does provide, we have a Get Clean, very, 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 very economical, unbelievably economical when you use them correctly. Shaklee will give you concentrated cleaners. We don't ship water. We just ship concentrated cleaners. You add the water, and you can save up to $3,000 a year just by switching and cleaning up your environment at the same time. They're easy to use, safe for your children, lower cancer risk, asthma risk, and other symptoms as well. And they're safe for pets too. Kids can clean. So anyhow, these Get Clean products from Shaklee can really, really make a difference in cleaning up your home environment. They're safe for pets, safe for your children, easy to use, and extremely economical. And they work. So choosing vitamins, let's talk about that. You want to make sure there's no artificial anything, no aspartame, no sugar, natural, not synthetic ingredients, not man-made in a test tube. The body doesn't know what to do. It can tell the difference. It's kind of like, they might say vitamin C is vitamin C, but it's like trying to put a left-handed glove on a right hand. It just doesn't fit. It just doesn't recognize it. So clinically proven, are your vitamins that you're picking, do they really have, is it marketing hype, or is it advertisement that looks like science? But you got to have clinical proof. And do they provide live living enzymes that can actually give your body vitality and make you vibrant? And so the live enzymes, if you take live living enzymes, then you'll have life, you'll have vitality. And do they have adequate calcium and B vitamins and trace minerals? With the ADD situation, sometimes just adding a high quality, pure calcium supplement along with some B vitamins can absolutely do a 180 in behavior for health. I've seen it numerous times. So adequate calcium and getting the B vitamins along with some trace minerals, sometimes just one trace mineral can make a big difference. So why Shaklee? Well, we're 100% Shackley guaranteed. You can return the empty bottle for a full and complete refund, no questions asked. But Shackley is always safe, always green, always natural, and it always works. No BPA in any of the bottles, hence none in our products. Sometimes products get contaminated just by the container that they're put in. So anyhow, why Shackley again? 83,000 lab tests for quality are performed each year on Shackley products alone. Exceeds the standard industry, head and shoulders. Nobody does it. You don't have to do it, so why would you do it? Well, Shackley's done it since day one on all of their products, including their nutritional products, which is their flagship product line. 176 separate tests for purity, freshness, potency, and safety on raw ingredients. I know of no other company that would even come close to testing for purity. We test every step of the way so that we know the finished product is as high a quality as possible and meets our exacting standards. A lot of companies will produce a product and then test it at the end and then hope. And most of them don't even test it at the end, they just hope. So there are as many as 262 separate quality tests throughout manufacturing. Once again, we build the quality in step by step. There's no guesswork. It just is, it's tested every step of the way. So clinically testing to prove it works. Yeah. And we have human subjects. We don't test on animals, but the proof is in the pudding. The people take these products and they get the result. The bottom line is quality determines results. We build the quality in every step of the way. There's no guesswork, and it ends up, the bottom line is quality, which in turn, the products will do what we say they do, and you'll get the results, and we have the 100%. I know of no other company that has a 100% guarantee on nutritional product, but Shackley does. This is the writing of a 10-year-old girl with ADD from Lansing, Michigan. Then the writing of the same girl 1 week after starting on Shackley supplement program, protein, Vitamin E, and B complex. Let's take a look at what she did before. And let's take a look. And the teacher said, this is much, much better. And it's quite obvious. So here with protein, and that's the basis. When I started Shackley, I took protein and Vitamin E. Vitamin E is a multiple vitamin that contains B complex, and sometimes people might need a little extra B. B you can't store, so you have to continually ingest B, and if you're not getting it through your food, you might want to try a B complex. These three products alone, look at the difference. Okay, just look at the difference. Once again, the proof is in the pudding. So choices for kids, we have lots of choices. We have the Life Shakes, 20 grams of ultra pure energized protein, added digestive enzymes and ancient grains. No sugar added, has 23 essential vitamins and minerals. You can put it in pancakes, oatmeal, or anything. I'm not good at that, but a lot of other people are. So anyhow, the choice improves immunity, fewer sick days, balanced blood sugar, keeps that blood sugar level longer throughout the day. It'll increase bone strength. It reduces lethargy and aggression. That would be good. Plant-based, GMO-free, beyond organic. All Shackley products exceed what the definition of organic is, and that's a subject in itself. But Shackley goes beyond organic, so you never have to worry about the purity and, once again, all that testing that we do. So here's a great place to start for children is the Incredivites. Covers gaps for kids, 23 vitamins and minerals. This is like the multivitamin for kids. It has stevia and mannitol and xylitol, which are actually good for your teeth. So natural sweeteners are used. Lactoferrin improves immunity. 600 IU of vitamin D for brain, bone, and immune health. All the B vitamins that stimulate the central nervous system, helps with behavior. More calcium for bone health than other famous brands. And calcium also is a natural muscle relaxer, so it helps people sleep better. I am so big on calcium. Calcium is like the rhythm of life. The tides come in, the tides go out. Your heart beats, boom, boom, rest, boom, boom. You know, it's that rhythm of life, and calcium helps all your major organs relax and contract. Everything in the world, the waves come in, the waves go out. Your heart beats, it relaxes, it contracts. But all your major organs relax and contract, and the calcium helps in that area. So there are trace minerals in the Incredivites for body function, improve cognition, be able to retain skills and facts. We also have Citra Boost, Liquidly infant and toddler formulas. The Citra Boost is a powder. It's really cool. This might be for people, if kids don't like to swallow pills, you could always crush them up, but then the Liquidly is awesome as well. It's been around forever through Shackley. And then we also have the infant and toddler formula. Call me for more information on that. They are gluten-free. I see so many people are going gluten-free, and that's probably, well, that is a good thing. We also have the Ocean Wonders Daily Kosher, which is another multivitamin, not quite, just a slight difference between that and the Incredivites. So feeding your second brain. We talked about how the gut is almost like your second brain. It communicates with your brain on a regular basis. So you might want to get the prebiotic and the probiotics into your system. 200, and we do have that product as shown right there on the slide there. 250 million CFU each of bifidus and acidophilus, the good bacteria that your gut needs. It will increase your immunity, less sick days. It will regulate the bowels. Elimination is so important. It's a messy subject. Nobody likes to talk about it, but elimination in America is a big, big problem. But I always just say, in your kitchen, if you never took the garbage out, what would happen? It would stink, it would get putrid, it would be nauseating. So same thing goes for your body. You got to regulate the bowels, and quote unquote, you got to take the garbage out on a regular basis. Very, very important. Messy subject. Nobody likes to talk about it. Big, big, big problem in America, though. It will increase nutrient absorption because some of the nutrients are absorbed in the digestive tract. Increase gut health, better synthesis of neurotransmitters. We talked about how important those are earlier in this presentation. It will protect against digestive disorders. So the Optiflora D1, now this is another probiotic. This one is clinically proven for immune support, clinically proven to improve digestive balance and comfort, laboratory tested to survive stomach acid, so it gets to where it has to be before it breaks down. A lot of these probiotics and that they'll break down before they get to where they can actually do you some good. Well, Shackley takes care of that. It survives the stomach acid, and it will be absorbed where it can do you the most benefit. It's gluten-free, soy-free, and dairy-free. We know how these dairy products are so hard to digest, and some people just can't do it. It's because of the heat process now. They get bound, and a bound calcium is very, very hard on the digestive system. So anyhow, so clinically tested, laboratory tested, gluten-free, soy-free, dairy-free, okay? And that's just a standalone product. It's the probiotic with 10 million CFU, a blend, okay? And it's tested to survive the stomach acid, which most companies would never even do. None of them, well, that I know of anyhow, so we won't dwell on that. So B complex, brain, brain, brain. It helps with the central nervous system, those neural connectors, improves focus, decreases anxiety. It balances blood sugar, less moodiness. Women take B complex, we call it the happy vitamin. Sometimes women can tend to be moody at certain times of the month, and the B complex certainly can help in that regard. It helps with the immune system. It helps with the hormonal balance. Shackley has special folic acid coating, which increases the absorption, gets to where it needs to be absorbed. Very important. And fish oil, B complex, one little side note on B complex, it actually helps you, it's not energy in and of itself, but it helps convert the foods you eat to energy more efficiently. So sometimes when people take B complex, they notice more energy. Well, it's a natural way to get the more energy, because all the B complex does is it helps to assimilate the foods you eat and turn it into energy in a more efficient manner. So some people, when they get on B complex, feel like they have more energy. And that's the scientific, the quick scientific information from me. So anyhow, so in fish oil, omega-3s and Omega Guard and Mighty Smart, and here's this Mighty Smart is a cool product when it comes to brain health. So it increases intelligence, decrease aggression, increase concentration, decrease anxiety and depression, helps with allergy, inflammation, and skin disorders. Shaklee uses small fish and triple molecular distillation for zero toxin. Purity is the big issue when it comes to fish oil. And of course, you can see our product will help in that regard. And so we have lecithin too. Lecithin, from the Greek word leukothos, for egg yolk, contains whatever that word is, the most abundant component of all cells, helps promote the myelin sheath development. So it coats the nerve endings. It's like the wiring system in a house. If you have a cracked wire or it's severed, then you know the electrical current will be severed. Well, lecithin helps to coat that myelin sheath so it keeps your electrical system, if you will, in your body flowing. So lecithin's a really, really cool product. We have some doctors within Shaklee that say if lecithin and fish oil were drugs, which they're not, especially when it comes to Shaklee, the purity and the effectiveness and the quality that you get, the doctors would recommend it for just about every negative ailment. So lecithin and fish oil, once again, if they were drugs, doctors would probably prescribe them for almost every negative ailment. So you have your opportunity to do that through me. So it helps supports memory as well. We know lawyers who have to retain a lot of information. They will boost up on lecithin just so that they're real sharp and know their X's and O's when they get into those courtroom battles. It supports mood. Being studied for cognitive function. Once again, it's that myelin sheath. It's keeping those neurotransmitters connected very smoothly and connectively. So that's probably science behind that. But anyhow, it helps the body metabolize fat more efficiently. So lecithin will also emulsify fat in the blood system. So I know some girls that take it just because it helps them stay trimmer, and it will emulsify the fat in the system. Eggs and soy as far as food goes. So then we have healthy snacks. If you're taking healthy snacks, the snacks that the Shaklee provides will keep the blood sugar stable throughout the day, helps mood and brain function. Shaklee 180 or meal smoothie, so you can take a quick shake. That'll keep your blood sugar level longer, avoid the mood, and will help the brain function better. We have these little 180 snack bars and snack crisp. They're very, very natural, but they provide a good in-between, a snack to keep you going. We have the Citra Boost product. Some people will mix it into applesauce or juice. It is a little powder. It's a super, it's kind of a multivitamin with some probiotic in it. It's really a cool product. We have the organic greens boosters that will help you get organic greens, lots of it into your system. So anyhow, we have healthy snack choices. And then we ask the meal bars. It's a meal in itself. It's a whole total meal replacement. It gives you about 30 to 33 or 35% of all the nutrients you need. So it's a meal bar. You just eat this bar. It tastes good, and you get everything you need. They're big, and sometimes I can't even eat a whole one. But if you did eat a whole one, you'd get about 30-some% of every nutrient that you need. So unbelievable for keeping you going in between meals. So special times. If you're really, have anxiety, we do have stress relief complex for that times when you're overstressed. If you're not sleeping well, we have the gentle sleep complex, which will help aid in helping you fall asleep. We have mental acuity, help support cognitive function, the thinking skills. So that's if you need a little extra boost in any one of those areas. We have some specialized products that would help you in that regard. So let's put it all together. Start your child right. Optiflora, Incredivites, protein, Omega Guard, which is found in the Mighty Smarts for the brain health as well. Teens, they would move on to the Vitalizer. That's a multivitamin mineral little strip that you take with multiple products in it. So it's a vitalizer strip. And of course, they could take the Life Shake, and it never hurts to give the teenagers a little more B complex. It helps with their moodiness. It converts the food to energy more efficiently. And just the B complex is good for, it's the happy vitamin. It keeps the mood up and things along that line. So we know how moody teenagers can be, so a little added B complex will go a long way. And we talked about the Get Clean products from Shaklee for a safer environment, for developing brains. It really is sad, some of the chemicals we drag in. Clean doesn't have a smell. So we don't need, this lemon oil and all this. Fragrance is just fragrance. It doesn't, and sometimes, those fragrances can actually create asthma and other things. Clean does not have a smell. I mean, the only clean smell I know is when you hang your sheets out on the line and, the natural air blows through it, then that's like a clean smell. But basically, clean does not have a smell. So as we continue to put it together, you can connect with us. I do have a Facebook page. You can find me on Facebook. I have a fan page as well as a personal profile. I'm going to show you, we can go to my hub site where you can join my wellness product and get a myriad of information on health and nutritional products. I'll show that to you in a second, how you can join my wellness project. Everybody's welcome. There's no cost or obligation. It's just if you give me your email and maybe your phone number, I forget. But either way, you just kind of sign up for it, and it gives you access to my wellness project with a myriad of wellness information. And I do have a Vitality for Life newsletter that you can sign up for, and I'm going to show you all that here in a second. So remember, good health is really simple. Switch to Shaklee for safety, purity, and potency. Drink more fresh water, common sense. Eat less processed food, no-brainer, common sense. Eat more fruits and veggies and get the best ones you possibly can. Maybe at those farmers market might be a little bit better than the commercially grown stuff that you get in the grocery store. But either way, you want to eat more fruits and veggies. Of course, exercise, activity. Find something fun to do that gets you moving. Because if you're out there having fun, you don't even know you're exercising. So find something fun to do that gets the kids and you out there moving. And more sleep, and less media. And less media sometimes equates to more and better soundful sleep. So I want to thank you again for joining my wellness webinar. I look forward to seeing you on my next event.